Welcome to the Native Diamond Podcast.
Oh, shit! What you waiting for?
Please don't forget to like the video, hit subscribe, ring the bell. That way you're notified every time I drop a new episode of Native Diamond Podcast. Feel free to drop a comment because I love hearing feedback from you guys. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode. What's up, my dudes? Seth here. This is Native Diamond Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, as always. And today, I'm hanging out with Mikey G, vocalist of Savage Hands, hard rock band based out of Maryland and Virginia. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course. If you haven't seen the show before, for anyone who's listening, I start off with icebreaker questions. They're about 25 or so either or style questions. You just say the first thing that comes to mind, and I'll kick it off with the first one. Macho Man Randy Savage or Hulk Hogan?
I'm going with Hulk Hogan.
Are you a wrestling fan at all?
Yeah, like back in the day, for sure. Not so much now, but back in the day, yeah.
Definitely. I was more of a back in the day. Like, as far as the newer stuff, I couldn't tell you who's popping right now or anything.
Yeah, I wrestled in high school and outside of high school, like real wrestling. So like when I got into it, I was like, I don't like that other stuff anymore.
Which do you prefer, Breaking Bad or The Office?
People are gonna hate me when I say this, but I don't watch either.
Oh man, it's all good.
Yeah.
Those are like kind of like not niche shows, but like if you don't like the first one, you're not gonna like the second episode. You know what I mean? It's like hard to get into. Ghost Kid or Ghost Main?
Ghost Main.
Have you heard Ghost Kid at all?
I don't think so. I may have heard the name thrown around on Twitter at some point, but I could fill you in on a funny story about Ghost Main, like, and why I know who he is and why I like him, but it could get long.
Beartooth or I Prevail?
Beartooth.
Sick. What's your favorite album?
I like the current one that they just did. I went to that tour, the Motionless in White tour with them, so I keep wanting to say Disgusted or Disease. It's Disease, isn't it?
Yeah, Disease.
Disease. Yeah, I like that record the best, honestly. But I was like a huge Caleb Shomo fan from Attack days, all the way back. So like I kind of moved wherever he moved. So when he did that first Beartooth album that they did, I was like super into it. So yeah, Beartooth all day.
I think they have a huge like fan base. Like if you touch that on Twitter, like you're gonna get hate for sure.
No, I Prevail. They're awesome. I've seen them live once, and like I said, I just saw Beartooth back in January, and it was an excellent show here at our the Fillmore venue in Silver Spring, DC. I want to play there so bad, but it's a big venue. It's like a 1,500 cap venue.
Oh,
yeah, it's fun, man. It's got like 2 levels. It's awesome.
Oh, those are the best with the levels. Those are sick. Yeah. This could be newer or older, and you'll know what I mean when I ask. Poltergeist or The Evil Dead?
The Evil Dead scared the shit out of me. The most recent one. Yeah.
Who was the better villain, Lex Luthor or Joker?
I feel like the Joker, because I love Heath Ledger. But the Joker, he is a psychotic mastermind for sure.
Yeah, I think like what they missed in a lot of the Superman movies, like they didn't really like show Lex Luthor a lot, in my opinion. I don't know. I just like you didn't really fall in love with that character.
Yeah, if you were a person who loves Batman because of the movies, and Superman because of the movies, like Lex Luthor wasn't really, I don't know, his character wasn't portrayed well at all, in my opinion.
Who's a better personality, Kellen Quinn or Ronnie Radke?
I'm going to go with Kellen Quinn. Kellen actually, well, maybe not Kellen, but his whole band back in 2015, I was hanging with some mutual friends, and they guested us in to Warped Tour 2015 in Cleveland when we were writing our Barely Alive EP, and we went over to their bus, and we brought in a bottle of Tito's for one of the guys, and then they came back out with like 7 drinks, and they were like, all right, 1 drink each because the Tito's is almost gone. So they're nice guys, and I don't know if it was Kellen or not, but I'm sure he was in there.
That's dope. What do you like better, heavy metal or rap?
I'm just going to have to say heavy metal. I like both, but I listen to, well, what kind of heavy metal are we talking here? Like old school or just anything?
Well, I guess like heavy metal now, I guess, you know, whatever would be described as like Megadeth and Iron Maiden and, you know.
Yeah, I would say hip hop more.
Anybody you're like bumping in particular right now?
I'm going to shout out Tyler from Afterlife. He's been posting a lot about NF lately, and I like in the past couple of weeks, I've just been kind of like letting my Spotify do its algorithm, and he kept popping up. So I've been jamming his album lately. There's a lot of bangers on there, but that guy is definitely, I mean, he's big, but I think he should be bigger than what he is for sure.
Hell yeah. Which would you rather do, stage dive or stand in the back?
Stage dive for sure.
Do you do it often?
Like while performing or like while watching a show?
Either or, I guess.
So I I haven't done it while performing in a long time, but I do it at concerts. I gotta get super drunk to do it, and I gotta also have someone there to hold anything in my pockets. But yeah, I do it all the time. I even did it on our tour with While She Sleeps while they were playing in Texas. We had like a whole area upstairs, and I just ran down there with like no shirt on, a jacket, and I crowd surfed like over and over and over again. I started the crowd surfing for that show for sure.
That's sick. That's sick when like you start something and then you get the crowd into it.
There's like a sweet picture of it on my Instagram where I'm like grabbing Aaron's hand, and he's like got the he's got the pick in his mouth, and his bass is like to his back, and he's trying to grab me.
That's sick. As far as franchises go, 007 or Back to the Future?
Back to the Future. I honestly watch that like all the time. It never gets old to me. I love it.
Yeah, they've been playing a lot of reruns lately.
I'm pretty sure that like the second and third one are on Netflix, but for some reason the first one won't let me play it. I don't know why. It keeps saying that it's not available here. So, but I don't know what's going on with that.
That's weird. Which would you like better, cigar and liquor or Netflix and chill?
I'm definitely Netflix and chilling for now. I don't smoke tobacco, and I recently kind of stopped drinking for now, just while we're being stuck at home, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maryland hasn't really quite opened up yet. There's like one bar open here, but it's kind of boring. So I just figured I don't want to drink right now. So yeah, Netflix and chilling.
Nice. I mean, that's a good thing to do right now anyways, because right now I think it's important to keep your health up and all that. So I think it's a wise decision. Parkway Drive or Fit for a King?
How are you going to do this to me? Yeah, Fit for a King for sure. I've been a fan of them since Ancient Waters. I love where they've been going. You know, the path that they have been going, pun intended. But yeah, those, and Tuck, he helped get me on Featured X, which is that website that allows like people to, you know, grab their favorite features, whether it's a guitarist or drummer or vocalist, whatever. Yeah, he helped me get on that. It's actually his company or part of his company. I don't know. But yeah, those guys, they're all super nice. I've met them a couple of times. But yeah, I definitely say Fit for a King. But Parkway Drive, very good. Like I've seen them live a couple of times. It was very, I wasn't surprised, but I was just like wowed, I guess.
Definitely. Yeah, that's hard. I like doing those. It's just fun. Like ultimatums and like two really
Yeah,
good options. So who would win in this fight? Vin Diesel or Wesley Snipes?
my man Vin, my man Benny.
Yeah, I think so. I think Vin Diesel.
As long as Wesley Snipes isn't in like Blade form, Vin Diesel's winning for sure.
Definitely. This kind of is like more about like classic cars. So Corvette or Cadillac convertible.
I'm going with the Corvette because if we're talking classic, that's like Stingray era, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I love the Stingray. My stepdad just got a 2008 Corvette, something like that. I don't know. Dream car for him. He just got it. I'm jealous.
That's sick. That's definitely like I don't know. I'm kind of split because I think I would rather have the Cadillac because the Corvette I would have too much fun and get in
Yeah,
trouble.
yeah.
Spirit box or volumes?
I'm gonna say Spirit Box. I like both bands, but Spirit Box to me is um, I like all of their stuff, honestly. Like I hopped on the bandwagon when Holy Roller came out, but I checked out the rest of their music and I was like, wow, this is a lot different from that song, and I really like it's something that I would listen to on the regular. So
Mhm.
yeah, let's say Spirit Box.
Man, they've been popping off lately. Like, I don't know if you fuck with like Sirius XM or whatever, but they just did a takeover with them. They just did an interview with like Jose Megan or whatever. I can't say his name, the ambassador. And yeah, they've just been popping off, dude. I just did a reaction to Holy Roller, and that's I mean that's honestly how I figured out like really like what they're about. I guess you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like I didn't really dive into them until like you said, like until I heard that. Then I was like, shit, like what am I? Why am I sleeping on this band?
yeah, I kept seeing their ads like all the time, primarily on Facebook, and I was like, honestly, I hate seeing ads for bands. I don't know why. I mean, it works, but like, I don't know. I just hate it. So like, whenever I see an ad, I usually don't check out a band. I'd rather find them some other way. But that's not to say anyone listening like don't do ads because Mikey G won't fucking fuck with. Yeah, I just for me, like personally, I will not look at like I won't click on an ad. I think I heard their name getting thrown around somewhere on a podcast, and I was like, let me listen to this band. I keep seeing their ads, so
Hmm.
I was like, whoa, and then I found out like I sent it to my sound engineer. I was like, dude, have you seen this? And he was like, yeah, that's the chick that sang in I Wrestled a Bear Once, and I was like, what? So I just kept diving in, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is sick.
Holy shit, I didn't even know that, but that totally makes sense now. I thought
Yeah,
that band was still like going or something.
no, 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 no. So if you listen, if you, have you heard of Tuck's podcast, Get Tucked?
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Yes. Listen to his interview with Courtney. She'll explain like the whole timeline of that pretty much, or it might even be on the Lead Singer Syndrome with Shane. It's on one of those two, but yeah, she dives in to the whole entire story of like her entry into I Wrestled a Bear Once and then how they kind of fell out.
Dude, that's dope. Yeah, dude. Those are two honorable mentions of podcasts as well. That's
Oh,
awesome.
those are the ones I primarily listen to.
Honestly, I've been listening to a lot of Joe Rogan and I listen to like a lot of punk rock NBA.
Oh,
That's like my go-tos.
hell yeah.
All right, so another franchise question. Super Mario or Grand Theft Auto?
I'm Super Mario all the way. I really wasn't like allowed to play Grand Theft Auto when I was younger because I strict parents. They're not strict anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I played a lot more Mario, but I mean that's tough though, because like Grand Theft Auto, I definitely put the hours into those games.
Yeah. I snuck around with it, but every time I got caught with it, it was like it would take me a few months to get like the CD back or the disc back or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was mainly Mario.
That's crazy because like now it's like, man, you can do anything under the sun on that game. It's fucking ridiculous. Since the debate is tomorrow, would you rather watch the vice presidential debate, or would you rather watch Jack and Ozzy Osbourne react to paranormal videos with the Osbournes want to believe?
All of what you just said, I want to debate. It's just, especially if it is anything close to what the last one was, I would not watch that again.
Yeah. I went back to work the following day, and they're like, "Did you watch the debate?" And I was like, "No, I didn't watch the fucking debate." And they're like, "Why not? This is America." And I was like, "This is not America right now." Like, I don't know what to tell you. This doesn't feel like America.
No, and I'm not one of those people, without getting into political stances and things, I'm not one of those people that's undecided or anything yet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to watch that to make a decision. And then I don't know how you could make a decision based off of that either. That I listen to like a traffic radio on my way to work in the morning, and something good that they brought up, because most radio stations are biased or whatever. But they did say one thing. They were like, for all the people that are undecided, like, how can you even decide off of that? Like,
Yeah.
Because both candidates were like arguing, bickering like children. So it's, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of embarrassing for Americans because like other people can see this, and these are like our supposedly leaders or whatever. It's just kind of a joke.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I don't want to get too political either. But all right. So which do you like better, Circle Pit or Wall of Death?
I like a circle pit. I mean, people still get beat up, but it's a little safer than a wall of death for sure.
Have you been able to like call for a Wall of Death, like being the vocalist?
Nah, we're not heavy enough. And I mean, like, maybe one day, like, for headlining, and I just feel like, I captivate the crowd so much that they will do whatever kind of shit I say, maybe. And I'll look at my guys and laugh, and I'll be like, we're doing it.
Is that the moment where you make it?
Yeah, that is the moment where I tell them, like, yo, this is it. Like, this is what everyone's been waiting for. This is what I've lived for. We can go home now and never do this again.
Sick. Yeah, that's like one question on the show that will always be a house question. Like I always keep that on my question list. It'll never go away. Which game show could you see yourself being on? Family Feud or Survivor?
Definitely Survivor. I'm not much of a trivia guy. Family Feud. Yeah, I suck at like answering like hard questions, but I'm big into outdoors and stuff. Like I go on hikes a lot more recently now. But yeah, I used to be in Boy Scouts when I was younger, but I left before I could, go through the whole like Eagle Scout process. But yeah, me and my brother, big campers, and he became an Eagle Scout. So like, I usually use him for his knowledge now. I'm like, oh, I didn't make it, but I got him.
That's sick. I was a Boy Scout as well. Like my dad was like heavily involved in like church and stuff like that, and he always just like drug me along. And the only thing that I felt like I got that was valuable was joining the Boy Scouts because like I love camping. I'm like I'll probably get made fun of for this or roasted, but no, I love being like outdoors. I love all that shit because you get away from the cell phones, you get away from social media, you get away from all those distractions, and it's just like you, the people around you, and just nature.
Oh yeah, dude. If anybody were to make fun of you, I'll come spark them because that's literally what being alive is about. Like these phones and stuff, being able to record podcasts and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
but it really is. It's beautiful. Like it had been a while. Like when I went hiking maybe like 4 or 5 weeks ago, it was the first time in a while. And, you know, we got to the summit of this area and I brought the dog and he just laid down on a rock and I was like, I'm going to sit down too. And we just kind of stared at the water and my brother was there and I was like, dude, can we just like sit here for an hour? Cause like, I just want to enjoy this. Like the smell is different, everything.
Yeah, that's sick, dude. Well, shout out to going camping and anybody who is camping, you know, keep doing your thing.
Every year.
Which producer would you rather work with? Joey Sturgis or Will Putney?
That's a hard one. I guess I'd probably go with Sturgis just because of like the nostalgic edge to it. Since back in the day, like every single band that he recorded was my favorite band at one point. So I would probably go with Sturgis.
Yeah, that's tough, man. I feel like I've been listening to a lot more like Will Putney, like produced stuff lately.
Yeah.
He's definitely up there on that list, though.
Oh, yeah.
Kingdom of Giants or Avoid?
I'm going to go with Kingdom of Giants. Shout out SharpTone, label mate boys.
Nice. Yeah, they've been killing it lately. I like what I've been hearing from them.
Oh, hell yeah. They have like a good visual concept going on too with this. I don't really know what you would call it. It's like some kind of futuristic industrial look kind of cool. I like it. It's cool. It gives a like for somebody who likes music but needs like a visual, like something that pleases their eye, like the band's very interesting in that aspect as well. So it gives them a better edge.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know why you just saying that. It reminded me. I just did a reaction to Defamed Doves. I don't know if you heard that song, but
Yeah, I heard. I've been hearing about them too.
yeah. But the video or whatever, I'm not shitting on it. It was more about the music. It was like a performance-based video. But yeah, it was just like, you know, guys in a warehouse doing their thing. And I was like, man, like I enjoy the more theatrical kind of produced stuff better. It's just more interesting to me. It's like entertainment. But all right, which would you rather visit? Disney World or the Eiffel Tower?
Definitely Disney World. The last time I went there was in 2009. They've definitely added a lot more things there since 2009, so I need to get back. I'm a Disney guy all the way. Like I have like figurines of Aladdin somewhere around in here.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm huge. Like, I'm a huge fan of Disney. Like, me and my wife, we rewatched the Mighty Ducks or whatever. And I was like, I haven't seen this since I was a kid. Like, I love that shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. You like now that you know we're all like grown up and we understand things. Like you're finding out that so many movies and shows and things that you like are owned by Disney. You know, or produced by Disney. What? I didn't know that.
That's true. That's so true. Yeah, there's so many. Like, even, I mean, I was kind of stoked when Star Wars got bought out by Disney because I was like, well, at least they're going to pump them out like every other year or whatever. Like, I'll see them a lot more often.
Yep.
Which would you rather live in? The 1800s or would you rather live in the future?
Definitely the future. The 1800s. That's all. There was too much going on back then that I definitely don't want to be a part of.
Yeah. You could still get lynched or shot in the street.
Smallpox. There's.
Oh,
I don't.
yeah.
My history is probably all fucked up, but yeah, a lot of diseases back then.
Yeah, definitely. People are just throwing shit in the street and like whatever. What is one band that you would love to go on tour with?
I'm gonna throw a curveball and say 30 Seconds to Mars.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
I've been listening to them lately, trying to grab some inspiration because I love Jared Leto and like I feel like that dude is cool as hell. I've watched like so many like live videos and things of him and how like cool and humorous he is with his crowd, and that just goes to tell me that he's like just a super comfortable guy on tour. So I feel like maybe a tour with them could involve hangs and stuff like that. Like if you were an opener, you wouldn't feel like weird if you caught each other down the hallway from the dressing room and just be like, hey, what's up, man? Like,
Yeah. So I'm assuming that kind of happens every now and then.
yeah, I mean, sometimes, luckily, every tour that we've been on, we've had great touring companions, and, you know, it's been awesome. But there's definitely been stories from what I've heard throughout the scene where things are like kind of awkward, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, he's walking down the hallway, like, and then just like whatever, I hope that we don't ever get in that situation, because I'm a super like talkative person, and I've got a lot of charisma, I guess. I'm outgoing. I like to be a part of things, and I mean, I know my place, but I definitely like to just be involved and stuff like that.
I feel that. I'm an extroverted introvert.
Okay.
Like I'm a hermit, but like I like to throw myself out there because they're just, I don't know, I just find it, I don't know, it's like living, I guess. Like, because it's like
Yeah.
normally I wouldn't want to talk to somebody, like whatever, but then I want to at the same time. So I just throw myself out there.
Yeah. Sometimes, like, if you ever get anxiety in that situation, sometimes it feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're like, just like, I don't know if all right, I'm gonna go up in there, and then like the whole like 5 feet you're walking to open this door to go hang out with some people or whatever, you're just like, that whole 5 feet you're like freaking out, and then as soon as you get in there, there's like maybe possibly someone in there, and you're like, oh yeah, what's up?
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you so much for playing the icebreaker questions. I hope you had fun with those just as much as I did.
Hell yeah.
What have you been up to lately?
So yeah, besides working my life away, I currently live in like a 3-bedroom house. I've had the house since 2018. But I try to take positives out of negative situations. So like, the pandemic has been super negative on everyone, but for me, it's given me the time to do the renovations in the house that I needed to do to sell it. Because it's a little too expensive for me. I had a good situation maybe 4 years ago, and it didn't pan out. And then, it was just me in the house here. So I had to wait a couple of years for the loan to go down quite a bit so I could sell it and either break even or make profit. So we're at that point now. So I've just been kind of renovating, and house is going on the market on Tuesday, which
Oh, shit.
yeah, I'm trying to, that it's a buyer's market right now. So hopefully people are still buying so they can get this house and get me out. But yeah, so that my band and I have been recording music, doing like demo stuff, and things like that, kind of shaping the future for the band and what we want to sound like. And then hiking and going outside, doing a lot of stuff outside. And then I've always played video games, but I've definitely been playing like a lot of video games now, mainly like Apex and Warzone.
Okay,
Sure.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that play Warzone. I personally, I don't play like video games anymore. Like this whole podcast thing has just consumed all my free time, which I'm not complaining about. But
That's good. Yeah.
I made that decision a while ago to kind of break off of video games because I just felt like I was just putting too much effort and time into that, and I just wasn't getting whatever out of it.
Yeah. I recently like slowly adding the tools to like stream, because I play so much that I'm like, I need to like do something with this so I feel some type of like gratification from it. Because yeah, I mean, I'm not very good at Warzone. Like I do win games, and then me and my brother play often. That's why I play that game, because he has a PS4 and I have an Xbox. So that's like the only game that we both play collectively that we can actually cross-platform with. But I'm like really good at Apex, So I would love to stream that game, honestly. My gameplay is like super aggressive, and I make really good plays and stuff, and make a lot of good saves on the game too. I'm always playing with randos. So, you know, if they don't have a mic, they usually have their own agenda. So yeah, I'm chasing them and picking them up.
Well, that's dope, dude. Speaking of streaming, I mean, like, streaming is awesome because, like, I have one of my buddies. He just started a YouTube channel and he's doing like walkthroughs and shit like that. And then I found myself watching like one of his 30-minute long like walkthroughs. He was playing like a horror game, but I got a lot of, I don't know, I got a lot out of it. Kind of like listening to a podcast. Like, I really liked the commentary that he was giving out. So I don't know, man. I think you should pursue the streaming thing. I think it doesn't really matter like if you're really good at it or not. I think like you being a personality like brings a lot of value to that.
Yeah, definitely. That's what a lot of people like. A lot of the guys at work that I work with were actually pushing me to do it. There's all kinds of age groups of people that I work with, mostly older adults. But on this crew specifically, we have like a lot of younger kids that are coming up through the apprenticeship, you know, talking like 19, 20 years old. And I feel like more younger adults play video games now than they did back when I was 19. So like all of them play video games, and they're like, yo, Mike, you should start streaming. Like, you know, like you could attach it to your band and like do this and that. And I had never like watched streams before, but you know, my brother, he's 21 or he's 22. So he's kind of in that realm. And he was telling me, he was like, dude, honestly, one of the most widely viewed stream categories out there is talk, like, was it like chill and talk or something like that? Cause they have categories, but he said, yeah, like number 2 or number 1 highest watch streams are the chill and talk videos. So like I would definitely, if I did stream, it'd probably be like games 3 to 4 nights a week, and then like others would be like maybe me playing games, but mostly chatting and hanging out with subscribers and just, you know, doing whatever about anything.
Dude, that's so. I know Ronnie Radke. He makes like $100,000 a month, like off Twitch, and Matt Hafey from Trivium. That's like a huge part of his thing now. Like he makes a lot of money off that too. So, dude, I would totally explore the avenue. I was even thinking about doing that myself once I build the, build the following around that.
Yeah, I'm also wondering. It's like a joke in my mind, but I'm like, also seriously wondering how many band dudes are gonna like not come back and just keep streaming because of how much money they make streaming. Like, you know, that's a lot of money a month to walk away from. Because I mean, you can stream on tour, but touring is busy. Like it gets busy. The guys at work, like, you know, I was like, yeah, I haven't had a vacation in 3 years. And they're like, are you kidding me? We're just on tour. Like, that's not vacation, especially not on a winter tour. That is not vacation at all.
Yeah.
Most of our tour was cold. You know, the first 3 days in Florida, well, not 3 days in Florida, but like Florida up was the first 3 days. So after 3 days, we were in the cold again, and it was just like, yeah, driving and loading in, being a opener or like a third of 4 or something like that. Like anything other than co-headline or headline, like you're rushing around a lot for sure.
That's interesting. I don't know. Like I haven't heard a lot of takes about like touring a lot. Maybe it's lack of touring from different bands, but that's really interesting input or whatever. Like I feel like, I guess the question will be for 2020 is, are people going to walk away from 2020 with like a new agenda because they found different ways to make money, or is it going to go back to what it was, like touring and running around and all the stuff that you're talking about? That's going to be the question, I think, moving forward.
Yeah, I think honestly, like, I mean, obviously, I hope touring comes back, and I think the what's held over for a lot of bands as far as like live stream shows are cool, but I hope that that doesn't become a permanent thing because like it's hard. Like some bands have better resources or more money, or someone in the band just whatever, and they're able to spend the money on the quality of the live stream. Like my band hasn't put out any type of live stream stuff because we don't have the resources to make it up to par, even close to what any of these other bands are doing. And I refuse to put up something that's filmed off of an iPhone or like, and I don't have the money for like a badass camera with a nice mic attached. Like, and then I also don't have the money to pay someone to do that. So I feel like a lot of bands that are in my position or my band's position like will definitely suffer from that. And plus, I just feel like it takes away from like the live music. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna promote people to like not even want to go out. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're oh well, yeah, this band like is gonna live stream their show at the end of the month, but they come here on tour, you know, in 3 or 4 months. Like I'll probably just watch their live stream because I can watch it from my couch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how that's a thing. I mean, right now it's fine, like because that's all there is. But I just hope that, you know, I hope it does come back and it kind of just I hope it hits like a surge. You know what I mean? Like I can't I don't really I've heard from like different people, you know, like ticket sales for majority of shows were down, but like I hope that there's like a surge since like people haven't been able to do it for like a year. You know, they're like, oh my God, I gotta go to a show, and it just like the sales double, and the tours that you don't think would do so well like do better than expected, and then the tours that you think are gonna do well do double that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we hope that that's a thing. It'd be great.
Yeah, for real. Man, I would love anything just to be able to go to a show and just like rage and just meet people that like the same music as you. And I
Yeah,
love that environment, dude. Like that's so important to be social as a human. I think that's something that's just being stripped away from us right now.
I feel like it's definitely gonna bring the music community a lot closer than what it already was, because you know, like this industry, the rock metalcore industry, like as a collective, like we were already pretty close, like, you know, but I feel like even more so now, like when shows do come back, I feel like it's just going to be even more inviting and more of like
Hmm.
a friendlier atmosphere. You know, I feel that that's going to happen, and you know, I just hope it will, because that's definitely what we need for sure. Just to be more inviting and things like that.
Yeah, definitely, dude. Very well said. I had to ask you this because, you guys got signed to SharpTone. It wasn't like recently or anything, but like how much has that changed your life and, y'all as a band or whatever, like just getting signed to SharpTone?
It changed a lot for me personally. But for the band, you know, like I said uh, before SharpTone, you know, we had no name, we were nothing. Like, you know, we were just a project with, you know, five guys, and we were shopping the EP or album, whatever it was back then, and there was a point in time where we had this music that I feel like if we would have put that music out at the time we recorded it, I think the band would be in a different position than we are now. I mean, obviously we would, because it would have came out in 2015 and people would have known about us for a lot longer. But I feel like those songs were more current to that year and that time period. they were so fresh when we did them then. Like, it sounded like something that no one ever heard of. And I think that's why we had some of the people backing it that we did at the time, because they were like, what the fuck is this? When we signed to SharpTone, like, that was the only platform we had, because we were no one at the time. So like Savage Hands came out on SharpTone, and, you know, Octane Radio ended up picking up our single Red. Jose loved that song, and they played it on there for a good like 2 or 3 months, I think. And it was really good. And that's kind of like what broke us into the hard rock scene, because our EP had like a good mixture of things. Like, we didn't know what we wanted to be, and we never really had a vision to be hard rock back then. It was just like we wanted to be like awesome post-hardcore music, but mainly singing, more just melodic, stuff. And yeah, so kind of that whole scenario there pushed us to break the edge of post-hardcore into hard rock, I guess. So it's kind of a crossover into that. And as for me personally, you know, it kind of shifted my personal life all over the place. Back when we signed, I was in a relationship, like a really long one. And, you know, the music and everything just got so demanding, and I was so headstrong with it because I had been for so long with that person, and they just couldn't do it anymore. So they had to roll out. You know, obviously that left me with a lot here with the house and the dog and everything. So I kind of had to figure out how to make it all work and keep what I have so I don't go bankrupt or anything, which definitely, I mean, still have it all. And the dog, he's over there sleeping right now. But yeah, it's been hard. Just working a lot, you know, 6 to 7 days a week before tours, just, you know, to make sure that I'm okay with bills and stuff. But that's a pretty repetitive conversation with a lot of musicians. You know, they work, musicians in our stature that are like considered baby bands. That's what we're called in the industry, as far as like openers and bands that kind of just broke through. You know, you don't make a lot of money on the road, so you gotta like make sure that you're taken care of, you know, before you leave, just that all of your assets are in line, I guess.
Right. Well, that's interesting, dude. Thanks for sharing that. I mean, I know that's probably really personal and stuff, but dude, I really appreciate you sharing that. Like, there's a lot of DIY presence on the show. You know, speaking of like, I guess like baby bands or whatever, bands that aspire to get to that point even. What is some good advice that you could like offer somebody who's like still trying to make it and they're fucking working their ass off? Like what's some valuable advice that maybe someone gave to you that you want to pass on?
One of the most recent messages of advice that I got was pretty much, if you have music and if you're DIY, if you have music, stop waiting, put it out. Like, one of the best things about being unsigned is that you don't have rules and limits to when, how, and where you put your music out. Like, and I'm not throwing shade at labels or our label or anything like that, but when you're with a label, there's so much more behind releasing music than what it is to release music as a DIY artist. Like, when we were DIY with my old band, like, we didn't put music out like how I'm saying, but like, if I had a project or a song and the guys wanted to put it out tomorrow, we could. I mean, it took like 2 weeks. We used to use this website called TuneCore. I think there's a newer site that people use now, but TuneCore put it on pretty much every platform there is, and it cost me like $40 a year to hold it. And yeah, it would register it in 2 weeks. So whatever I could plan 2 weeks prior, be like, yeah, we want to put this song out tomorrow. I'm like, all right, well, I'll submit it tomorrow and it'll be out in 2 weeks, you know, or when you set the date. So yeah, I think that advice is super important to bands. Like, just put it out. Don't wait. You know, you have that power, because you could put it out in 2 weeks and then the reception isn't what you thought it was. Okay, back to the drawing board. Let's go back, and then go back and put another song out. See what's doing the best on your collective or whatever you just put out. If you put out an EP or an album, see what's doing the best. You know, write another song that sounds similar to that, go more in that direction, and put it out 2 months later. Like, that's why I fuck with the way that hip hop artists release music. Even when they're signed, they're always putting out music. I hope that like the rock industry can get to that point one day where artists are constantly releasing singles and things like that, because right now most of the label artist contracts consist of like album deals, you know. And
Yeah.
I've heard this being talked about quite a bit, but it's like, I think the whole album deal thing for contracts is old news. It's outdated. I think that there needs to be language for singles and groupings of songs versus, you know, a 3-album deal or something like that. They definitely need to throw like singles in there for sure, because it's too long for fans to wait.
Yeah, man, for sure. Like 2 years, you know.
I'm 28, about to be 29. So like, I came from like the era when screamo and all that stuff really started taking control of the rock scene, like the underground scene, and, you know, waiting. Silverstein was my favorite band back then. And I waited for those albums, you know. I just waited and waited and waited, and like, I had a MySpace back then, so
Yeah.
it was definitely like less involved on the internet. It was where everyone was like really clueless, and that was back when they would play our stuff on like Fuse TV.
Yeah.
Watch the TV for like commercials or whatever on like when an artist's album's getting ready to come out or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely, in this day and age, there's so many tools to be known. So just put the music out.
Dude, that's valuable advice. And no, I totally agree with you, dude. I think that's why, not it's a competition or anything, but dude, I mean, like, hip hop is blowing rock out the water as far as you look at Billboard or anything like that. And yeah, I think it's attributed to like not putting out as much content as like other people, and putting the visuals with it as well. I think you're onto something with that. I would like to see a lot more singles from bands that I really enjoy. That way, you know, they're still around. And like that discussion we had earlier about like I wrestled a bear once. Like, I didn't know they fell apart because I haven't heard I haven't heard from them in years. So I mean, it's hard to tell who's still together or not.
Yep, it was kind of I mean, I was in the same boat as you, honestly. Like, I not that I followed that band, but I definitely like made myself aware of them, because, and I wanted to say this when we brought up Spirit Box, but one of the main reasons why I like them is because they're fronted by a woman. And I think that having women's presence in this like scene and industry is very awesome. You know, definitely women have a place in any part of this industry. And I love that the band is being showcased, and, you know, she puts up her live takes and proves all the naysayers wrong. I love that shit. I don't know if you've watched any of those, but she has like 3 like live takes of their songs on YouTube, and it's just her in the studio with the laptop behind, like showing the session actually running, just as proof that she's doing it live, and she is sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I have to check that out because, like I mentioned earlier, I don't know if I did or not, but like me and my wife reacted to Holy Roller, and Yeah, like a lot of people were like, dude, look at the live session, look at the live session. So that might be the next reaction coming out of Native Diamond over here.
That's actually that. So the live reaction is what I heard first of Holy Roller before I listened to the actual song. This might be like kind of snobby of me, but I I always gotta watch a band. Like if I feel like I like a band, I'll go and try to find like 8 or 9. I don't know why I just gave you those weird numbers. Let's just say 10 live videos of them, and I'll listen to the band live. Because I feel like you can't just say, "Oh, I don't like them" based off of one video.
Mhm.
And it also like depends on the video too. Like if it was recorded by Caliber TV, I know I'm watching something. But if it's an iPhone in the middle of the crowd, like I'll probably skip to another one just to check it out. But if it sounds good on that from the middle of the crowd, you know that the band is damn good for
Oh
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
But yeah, so that I saw that first and I was like, she's insane. So then I watched the music video and I was like, this is creepy as fuck. I'm into it. Hell yeah. And I sent it to all my friends.
Damn, fucking time is just flying by, dude. I feel like we could talk for hours.
I'm a talker. I'm sorry.
No, you're great, man. You've been great on the show. Like it feels like a flash in the pan, it just went by really fast. Before we head out, I do want to hit on one segment. If you have any crazy road stories that you want to share, if you want to spill any, that would be great.
I'll tell you too, this is starting to become like a widely known thing. Like people are just like, they just know now. But on the first tour that we had ever done, it was with Palisades and it was in the middle of the summer and we had just gotten to Austin, Texas. And I have 2 cousins that live out there. So like they were coming to the show and everything. And I just woke up and I was like, today feels off. And I got outside the van and I got right back in because it was like 110 degrees. So the whole day we spent it in the van. And then we got to the venue and I cannot remember what venue it was, but the venue staff was being kind of rude. So again, just wasn't the right day. So we're just getting kind of bossed around on like when we loaded in, they like told us to move our load in somewhere else. And we're just like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, like my guys are rushing and they're like, hey man, can you open this pack of strings? And I was like, yeah, why can't you do it? And they're like, well, we're busy. We're on stage. We're setting up. And I was like, all right. So I went to open them and I couldn't get them open without like a knife. So I looked around and asked if anybody had a knife. And of course, like the security had a knife because it's Texas, had a big knife attached to his hip. And I took it and I went to cut and that thing slid through the pack like butter, stabbed this finger. And it was like probably 45 minutes before we had to play. And it hurt. So like I immediately like covered my finger with my hand and then I let it go. And then like a little bit of blood squirted out. Oh my God. And my finger was like shaking so bad that it looked like it was hanging. So yeah, I took an Uber to the hospital and they super glued it shut and told me that everything was going to be fine. And I got home and now that finger does not work.
Holy crap.
It can't like bend. It's just like a straight finger. Like I'm trying to bend it right now. It won't bend. So that's on my left hand. So like if you ever see pictures of me, like with the finger with the tattoos on it, I'm usually doing this like on stage a lot because I can't help it. So like people always make fun of me, like my band especially, like they'll be like, hey Mike, and I'm like, what? And then they're all like doing this like down by the I'm like, and then so that's that. I think that's probably one of the worst things ever to happen on tour, honestly. But then this next one, so where are you from, by the way?
Well, I'm from like Charlotte, North Carolina area.
Okay. So you may not know about this then, but there's a road out in the West. It goes through like 2 or 3 states, like through the desert and shit. It's called like Route 66 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Super long. And there's like a period of it that goes, I want to say it goes through like Nevada maybe. And there's like no gas stations for like 200 miles on this one stretch. And we were heading to Sacramento at the time, and we were doing a night drive because the moon was out. It was super. If the moon's not out over there, it's pitch black. There's no light, no nothing. But the moon was out, so it was like super, lit. And my drummer, who was new to the band this past tour, this was his first tour, and he said, I'll do the drive. And I said, okay. I said, well, it looks like we're almost to a quarter tank. And I was like, the next gas station, you have to stop. If I'm asleep, you got to stop. Because I was co-piloting, and the co-pilot's not supposed to fall asleep, but it was like 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I was off. And I was like, you have to stop, like, because if you don't, we'll run out of gas. And he was like, yeah. Well, I dozed off, and then I get like a tap on my shoulder, and it was him. And he was like, Mike. I was like, what? And he was like, so I have us routed to a gas station, and it says that we're 25 miles away, but the dashboard says that we have 15 miles to the gallon left. And I was like, Alex, you didn't stop at a gas station 150 miles ago. And he was like, well, I don't know. I wasn't thinking, and you fell asleep. And I was like, oh, like, it's my fault, but at the same time, it's his fault. So
Yeah.
I said, hey, man, the next little rest stop you see, you might as well just park there, because we're not going to make it. And I'd rather like pull over somewhere like that and be safe and not on the side of the road. So yeah, that's what we had to do. And luckily I have AAA. So, I called AAA, and it took them about 2 hours to get out there, and they gave us enough gas to get us to the gas station. But that was a joke for him the whole way home. It's still a joke now in our group chat. We still tease him about it. I don't think we'll ever let it go.
That's great.
Be the only band member ever known to run the van out of gas.
That's great, dude. Yeah, I mean, you have to give that guy shit. I mean, sorry. But you have to, man.
Yeah.
For
No.
sure.
Like I said, it wasn't like the worst situation ever. But it definitely could have been worse, so we're thankful. But yeah, originally he was like, yeah, so we can call a tow truck. And I was like, hell no, boy. I was like, I got AAA, man. I pay like whatever. I can't remember what I paid for it a year, but it's worth it for that. And it came in good handy. Like, they were like, dude, we're lucky that you have that. I was like, hell yeah, you are. Like, 'cause I wasn't paying for that damn tow truck. My dog got up to say hi. This is Moose.
What's up, Moose? Sick.
Podcast.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, that might be actually the second or first dog on the podcast. I think we had a cat on the podcast for sure.
Oh, we
Not
got
sure about the dog.
Hold on. There he is.
There you go.
Hold on. Yep, there he is. Moose, little demon dog. I'm surprised he didn't interrupt. He's weird when I'm on like FaceTime and Zoom and stuff for some reason. Sorry.
Oh, you're great. You're great. Well, anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up here, man. It's been real. It's been a lot of fun, and hope you had fun with it as well, man.
Definitely, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And since we started in a fun way, I always like to end it in a fun way. And I'm going to ask you the final question before we head out. So if you could have anything in the world, tangible or not, what would it be?
Okay. If I could have anything in the world, it would be like all fans in the world, every fan in existence could be more accepting of artist change. Because I see a lot of that recently, a lot of people that won't accept artists changing, because we all change, everybody changes. We're all human, and, music changes, and what you like changes. And, I feel like people get so stuck on what exactly they like that they can't accept their favorite artists, change in style or sound or something like that. And I mean, I kind of made this directed about music. There's a lot of things that I could have said for that, but I wanted to direct this at music, since this is more of like a kind of like a music podcast. I mean, it is very personal too, but I just wanted to get that out there for a lot of people that, that's what I wish.
That's a great answer, dude. Like, honestly, I get a lot of silly ones. Like, a lot of people say steak dinner, and I'm like, really? But I get it. But like, come on, dude. But no, that's perfect, because, yeah, I've been seeing a lot of that as well. And I mean, like, I'm 29, so like, yeah, I've seen Bring Me the Horizon. I've seen them from MySpace emo kids to what they are now. I've seen everything in between, and it's like, yeah, man, we just need to be a little bit more accepting, and like, I want more people to like look after the genre as a whole. Like, how do we take care of rock? How do we keep it relevant? How do we keep it important? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
The shit's phasing out, dude. Like, there's so many different niches and subgenres, and so many people like hate on different things. It's like, we all like the same shit in a way. Like, just fucking be cool,
Yeah, definitely. That's hit the nail on the head there. You see it with a couple of bands that have released in the pandemic, and you're still seeing it, but hopefully when it's over, people will just be more accepting and figure out how to accept all that,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
definitely. Well, any final thoughts? Anything in particular you want to tell the viewers? Anything that we need to look out for? Anything you want to say before we head out?
Shout out Native Podcast. Make sure that you tag him, and everybody needs to listen and watch. Support the podcast for sure. The newest album, The Truth in Your Eyes. If you haven't been able to listen, check it out. Definitely appreciate it. Let us know if you like it or not. We like all the feedback.
That was Mikey G, vocalist of Savage Hands. If you don't know, now you know. Go check out their full-length album, The Truth in Your Eyes, as he mentioned. Thanks again for being on the show, and let me know if there's anything I can do for you.
Yep, absolutely. And thank you for having me.
That pretty much does it for the podcast. If you made it this far, you're a real one. If you really enjoyed the show and are feeling mighty generous, for the small price of a pumpkin spice latte, you can contribute to the podcast each month, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes. Thanks again. And you don't have to donate anything. Sharing is completely free and always appreciated. Or you can follow me at native_podcast on all social media. I can't wait to see you on a future episode. And until then, shine on.
Hell yeah.